Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show, obviously episode 167. Obviously, it is a day before that we'd usually do it. It's because the team news actually come out today, so I thought we'd just get it out of the way, sort of thing, and then obviously gives people more time to watch it as well. That type of thing. You know, going forward, if it always comes out 2 days before, I wouldn't mind doing it then as well. But yeah, obviously, hope everyone had a good international break as well. I mean, watching England was dire, like always, with that fraud in charge. But there we go. But like always, I'm joined with my dad. How are we, Dad?
Yeah, all good, mate. Happy Easter, everyone. Come on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, certain people have 4 days off now, coming up. And yeah, obviously, it's football tomorrow, on a Friday, lots of football. Obviously, every league except the Premier League, and the same with Monday. And I'll tell you what, when we were in the Championship, I did like them times. It was good, like just football non-stop. It was good there. You know, when you have players not injured as much as we do, it was good then. Them times they're obviously chasing the playoffs as well, as we all know. But yeah, big up to everyone. Hope everyone is good. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing, which come out literally half an hour before we went live, we're going to briefly get into that. Joe Johnson has signed a new long-term contract. Obviously, he's been in and around the team quite a while now. You know, for me, the main bit where he's just kicked on and continued to be in the team was obviously that Middlesbrough game in the Championship last season. Obviously, when he come on, had a little brief spell in that game. But yeah, a bit about it. So yeah, obviously, we know with Luton, it don't say specifically how long it is. But the 18-year-old who has made 5 senior appearances under Rob Edwards, including his full debut this season, has been a regular in the town's matchday squad in the Premier League this term. Delighted, Johnson told Luton Town, "I'm buzzing. This is such a great club with great people, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for me. The aim is not to be only a Premier League footballer, but hopefully one day a Champions League player. One day I'd like to start my Premier League match, and then who knows where I'll go." The manager has also been so supportive. I've never met a manager who's so nice, and he's very good at controlling the squad. I think we've got a group of players who are willing to die for the manager because of how much they care about the club and they care about what we're doing, because we all believe and we're all chipping in. Rob Edwards on it. He says, "We feel this is the right place for him. We're really, really pleased with the progress he's made over the past couple of years. Joe has a really balanced view of life. He's got the right attitude and a steely focus, belief and confidence. All of these attributes you need to succeed at the top level. He's made a few appearances and been a regular in the matchday squad, and we know he's desperate to make his Premier League debut, but it's a matter of time. We have high hopes for him, and we don't want to put any unnecessary pressure on him. But Joe has a big future at Luton Town. He knows he needs to work hard and knuckle down, but we're pleased to get him tied down because he deserves it. Born in Barnet, the left-sided defender began his career at Arsenal Academy when he was 6 years old. After being released by the Gunners 4 years later, he joined grassroots club Focus Football before joining the Hatters in 2020. Having scored in the win against Birmingham City at St Andrews in the FA Youth Cup third round in December 2022, the then first-year scholar was named on the bench for the first team in the FA Cup fourth-round replay at Grimsby Town in February 2023. After signing his first professional contract in March 2023, Johnson made his senior debut as a substitute, obviously the Middlesbrough game, like I mentioned. At that time, obviously, he was 17 years old. His first start came in the Carabao Cup, Exeter City. Let's not get into that game. Was swiftly followed by a call-up to the England under-18 squad in early October, making his debut, playing 64 minutes of a 1-1 draw. But Belgium, in a friendly ahead of the under-18 World Cup in Indonesia, where he played in the victory over Iran. So, yeah, obviously, like I say, new long-term contract, come out half an hour before we went live. Good news, isn't it, Dad?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, looks good from what we have seen of him. It does look good. Yeah, he's obviously saying about playing. He wants his ambition. I must believe in his ability. If he's saying he wants to play in the Champions League, don't know if that's going to be with Luton, but he looks quality, so we'll see. It's decent. I haven't had a lot of youngsters come through the ranks for a while now, so yeah, let's see what he can do. I don't think he'll start next couple of games, but maybe the home games, possibly, depending on how the rest of this, injuries and the rest of the defence gets on and things like that. But he has looked tidy when he's come on. The Exeter game, not really. I don't remember him making any mistakes or anything really in that game, from what I can remember. So yeah, see what happens. We got.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That Exeter game, it was more so the midfield. Obviously we changed up the midfield in that game, and that's really what cost us. It was just all over the place. But yeah, I'm very happy for this. Like I say, the few times I've seen him, he's been good. I've always, especially to you, Dad, I've always had high praise for him and Nelson, especially, when it comes to the younger players, because I've seen, what they can do. I know Nelson in that Birmingham game was massive as well, at their ground. I remember that game. That was the times they were battering our first team, and then our, younger team went there and battered them at their own ground. So yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Even when you look at games like Everton in the FA Cup, when he come on in that game, he looked so composed and he just done the basics. He wasn't trying to do any complicated stuff, and you can see that he's got the quality. Obviously getting picked for the England youth teams as well. So it's good. It's good for sure. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, regarding him. Will he start games like you say? With the injuries, the way they keep occurring, he might have to. But it's interesting. He could even start against Tottenham. I wouldn't be surprised. I know Rob Edwards has come out and said, you don't want to rush him into things, but I think either way, because of the injuries, he will be involved. Like whether that's on the bench or starting. So we shall see. We shall see. It'll be interesting because also with Hashioka, he's still adapting, whereas Johnson's obviously been in and around the squad, like we say, since that Middlesbrough game. So he's been there longer. So he might, be in. We don't know. We shall see. But obviously we'll get into lineups in a bit. Let's go through some comments. Big up to Chris. He says, "Big up lads. Hope you're well. Club football is back. We don't have to watch Sal Clown." Yeah, no, me and you, Dad, we watched both the games together, and just shocking, really. We sort of expected it anyway. It's just how we play, isn't it? It's just frustrating for me, and I'm sure it's like the same for you guys. The players we've got good enough players, to win stuff, but we just not great, if I'm being honest. And yeah, it's making me not look forward to the Euros, to be honest. Yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously, like you say there with Carlisle, it's not too great. And I was thinking you guys were going to get something against Stevenage. I was watching all the 3 p.m. games. I thought they were going to do it. But Stevenage, man, they were lucky, if we're being honest. But I've heard their manager has got a touchline ban, apparently, for a couple of games. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's not great. Big up to Steve, obviously a West Ham fan, as you can see. He says, "Hope you guys stay up." Yeah, big up to yourself, mate. Obviously, I am looking forward, as long as we've still got something to play for. That West Ham game. 'Cause I think the London Stadium's decent. Not that I'll be able to go to it, but yeah, it'd be good. Be good to play you guys, and it could be interesting if you do get past Leverkusen. Which my stepdad, he's not usually confident with West Ham. Obviously, he's a West Ham fan, but he is confident they will beat Leverkusen's unbeaten streak and go through. So if you do, that could maybe have a slight effect on the game, because obviously, it's near the semi-finals or something like that. So we shall see. We shall see. Yeah, the thing is now, I think he'll be in around the squad, like Rob Edwards has said, and I just feel because it is a long term. But if he was to get loaned out, I think, I don't think it will happen. But if he did, I'd say he's good enough to play for a top championship club. I would say personally, you've seen the glimpses and that, and like I say, when he has come on for us, he's been pretty composed, to be honest. And we know sometimes when younger players come on, they sort of struggle at the level, which is understandable. It's obviously they're still adapting that, but he doesn't. You don't really feel that with him, or I don't personally anyway. So I would say if he was, but I don't think he will, it would be a championship club, like a high one. Anyone above, between mid-table to up there for me personally. Are you the same on that, Dad?
Yeah, I don't think he'll get loaned out. The only way I can see him getting loaned out is if we definitely stay in the Premier League and we sign some other defenders. And then, yeah, it'd be loaned out to a championship team that's chasing promotion.
Yeah. So I just laugh this comment from Chris, just absolutely violating the Stevenage manager. But yeah, good evening to yourself, Paul. I hope you're well. But yeah, that is that when it comes to that. So yeah, good news that come out before. One of the rare positive news is for us right now. But going into this game against Tottenham, obviously on Saturday, back to back against London teams away. This is another point where we looked at the season and we was thinking, okay, this is a bit of a difficult running, coming up. Obviously, Tottenham, as it stands, they're chasing for the top four. Obviously, we're trying to stay up. And yeah, as it stands, points wise, if Tottenham were to win this game, they will go level on points with Villa. Depending on what Villa do, they are taking on Wolves, which will be an interesting game. Obviously, as for us, if we were to win, we would be level on points with Everton. But again, they got better goal difference than us, so we'd stay where we are if Everton didn't get a result at Bournemouth. So it's all interesting there. But yeah, one positive, not so positive stuff, like I say, is the injury news. And I thought it'd get better. Obviously we heard Chio was got injured. Obviously for Ireland. But, I thought the likes of maybe Lokonga would be back, for example. I didn't think Elijah would be yet. Maybe might be back towards the end of the season. But yeah, it's, if anything, it looks like it's got worse regarding the injury news. So Chio will not be available for our visit to Tottenham. Obviously, like I say, he felt his hamstring against Thomas Kaminski's Belgium. So yeah, and then he could be out for a few weeks, according to Rob Edwards. And then this is another positive that we got. Obviously, Ruddock, there was some slight scares. I mean, me personally, I thought he'd be okay, and he is okay for the game against Tottenham, which is really good because I felt, he was really good, until he unfortunately had to come off against Nottingham Forest. And Doughty's going to be available. Again, massive shout out to Doughty, man. The amount of games he's played, he's just he can't get that rest at the moment. But hopefully that 2-week rest is obviously benefited him. But when it comes to us, he just can't get that rest because just the injuries all over the place, as we know. Like I say, Lokonga, Elijah still out, and Anderson is getting closer. I've seen a lot of posts on Instagram as well. He's back on the grass. Obviously, he was in Norway. Sorry, not Norway, Denmark, doing all his stuff there. I've seen a lot of that recently. So hopefully he'll be back at some point soon. That will be massive. I feel for the defence because, even though it's his, time adapting to us as a whole squad, I felt he was really good when he come in, looked very composed in a lot of the games. So yeah, hopefully he'll be back soon. And then Osho has got bruising on his knee, which is being monitored on a day-to-day basis. So again, same as who was it? Lokonga, I thought, Osho would be okay for this game as well. I thought it'd only be a little precaution, but it's getting monitored day to day. And then obviously, like I said, Johnson will be available for selection, but Rob Edwards don't want to rush him in. But I feel, with the injuries we've got, he will be involved on the bench at least. And then shout out to Mengi as well. Obviously played. He did get recalled, which is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that at international stage when they've got, injured and then they've come back. Personally, I don't know if I've ever seen that, but he did feature in the 7-0 win for the England under-21s at Bolton's ground. So he did get a little run out there, which is good to see, and he didn't get any injuries. So that's obviously good to see as well. Because that was some people's slight worry as well, with him going back, but he is all good to go. So that's a positive. But yeah, everyone else that has obviously been out is still out as well. So that is that when it comes to the injury news. After saying all of that, Dad, how do you feel going into this game?
No, we know it's going to be tough. We was hoping some players to come back. It is good that they've had a little bit of the rest of players that weren't injured. I think that's going to help. We just got to make sure. I don't know, like we went 3-0 up at Bournemouth. I know Bournemouth, Tottenham, different teams, but with injuries as well, so we can score. But I mean, fighting relegated, but Tottenham really especially after losing to Fulham. We're the worst. We haven't won in 8 games. We're the worst form team in the league at the moment. It's going to be extremely difficult. We haven't beat them since 1985, something at their ground. Not feeling too confident to be honest, but you never know. But obviously, we want to see a decent performance, and see what happens. But yeah, I'm not feeling totally confident. That's a very, very difficult game.
Yeah, it's like I say, if we had certain players like Lukonga, Osho, obviously Elijah, I had a feeling. I had a feeling, Elijah wasn't back yet. I thought maybe Lukonga would. I just had a feeling, but obviously not to be. I thought Osho, especially him, I thought he would be in this, and that would give me a bit more confidence, But like you say, Dad, obviously, we spoke about it as well. Since that loss, you see, maybe it might be overreactionary from Son, but at the end of the day, it shows his passion, and I just think, like you say, we're not on, we haven't won in ages, and it's a good opportunity, in my opinion, for Tottenham to bounce back, especially if our injuries, all over the place. Maybe if it's at Kenilworth Road, I'd be a bit more confident, even though we haven't lived up to what we thought we would at home. Just a sense of, I look at the game, that we did have against them, and that was them times there we could defend well, but we just couldn't put the ball in the net, and Elijah obviously missed that chance then. But if that was, obviously, if we had him involved now, I'd be confident if it is at Kenilworth Road, but obviously it's not. So I'm not too confident myself, to be honest. I'll be honest, I'm more confident in this game than Arsenal, because even though Lukonga's not available, I know he definitely wouldn't have been against Arsenal anyway, because obviously he can't play, he's alone and all that. But yeah, I'm not too confident. I'd have rather Tottenham beat Fulham, because then they wouldn't. Obviously, they'd still be looking obviously to win this game, but at the same time, they wouldn't. I just don't think it's good sometimes when you play these sort of teams and they're on a loss like that as well. Obviously, again, it is a slight rival. Obviously, it is another London club as well. So, they'd be fuming from that one. So, yeah, not too confident myself, to be honest. And can you be? Can you be? Let us know in the comments. I don't know. I don't know with these injuries. I just don't see how you can be too confident going into these games. That's the problem for us. So, yeah. Big up to Billy. He says, evening, lads. Hope you're well. Yep, good, thanks, mate. Hope you're well. Obviously, you've got Cole Palmer on your picture. Again, that's another player. Why call him up and then not even use him, Southgate? I don't understand it. Really don't understand it, especially with how good he's been.
He come out and said, I don't think he was fit enough or something to start. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I know, the guys.
I bet Henderson would have been starting if he weren't injured or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
He was carrying through injury. Don't know, mate. It comes out of weird stuff. We ain't got no number 6 who play. Missing out on what Ross Barkley's been doing pretty much all season. It's just
and he is literally wearing number 6 as well.
He's definitely got a chip on his shoulder, that guy. But anyway, it'll be gone after we don't win anything.
Yeah, facts. After we don't win the Euros again, it'll be gone. But yeah, we'll obviously get into that nearer the time when it comes to that. But yeah, there we go with that. But let's go through his comment from Chris. Luton can easily get in behind Tottenham's defence. Yeah, going on that, I know Tottenham's injury news. One thing that could benefit us in a slight way is Van de Ven could be out. And I know he's been very good for Tottenham. I've rated him very highly. Even before he went to Tottenham, when he was at Wolfsburg, he looked very good. So if he's out, that could benefit us, when it comes to the attacking wise. But I just feel, me personally, I feel with Son, Madison coming back into swing of things. Who else have they got? Kulusevski. Them players. I feel they will hurt us because of our injuries at the back. I just got to be honest. If we had, obviously Osho, if we had Anderson, if even Lockyer, if we had them players, I'd be a bit more confident. But it's going to be a makeshift defence. Let's be honest. Like, there's be certain names like Mengi and all that, but yeah, there's a few things you can play around with at the back, in the sense of, do you go with Kabore again on the left side? Do you put Hashioka back there? Things like that. So we shall see. Jackie says, hi, Ty and Daz. I'm not confident, but I'm baking the boys to get something. Yeah, no, we're the same. Like I say, we're not confident at all going into this. Yeah, and that's the thing about Romero as well. He is very, he does love to give away a foul. So that's why I don't really say him. Van de Ven is the one for me out of their centre backs. But apparently he's 50-50 at the moment. So I'll say if he is out, that will be a benefit for us when it comes to attacking wise. But yeah, moving on to the lineups in this game. So, right, obviously we'll do the usual. I'll start off. I have done mine already, so I'm just going to go through it one by one. So, obviously, Kaminsky in goal, that goes without saying. Shout out to him. Obviously, I did shout him out on Instagram for it. Obviously, he did get that cap for Belgium. Come on in the last 6 minutes, which was interesting. I was thinking, all right, their keeper might be injured. Sells the one at Forest. And I was thinking, all right, he might actually play against England. That'd be pretty sick if he does, but he didn't. But shout out to him for that. Obviously, he's going to come straight back in for this one. And then the back three for this one, like I say, as much as we don't have the options, you can chop and change, especially between players like Kabore and Hashioka for me. So what I've done, I've gone Kabore on the left side again. Obviously, he was there against Nottingham Forest. We all thought it was Ruddock, but we all got pranked, I guess. And it was Kabore. I thought done pretty well there again. So I'm going to go with that. And obviously, we see what Hashioka was like last time out, against Bournemouth, on that left side. And it wasn't great. Yes, he should have got help, but at the same time, it wasn't great. So that's why I'm not going to go with it, especially away at Tottenham. And then I'm going to go Mengi in the middle, of course, and then I'm going to go Burke on the right side. I think other than that, you can't really do anything else. And then, obviously, like I say, Hashioka on the right. Obviously, when it come in, he said, he's more of a right-sided player as well. So that I'm going to go with him there. Left side, obviously, Doughty. And then the midfield, the CDMs. Now, you can have a little toss-up. Obviously, you're going to put Barkley in. You could either go with Ruddock or Clark for me. You could even go Berry, but, he doesn't really start games in the Premier League anyway. So for me, I'm going to go with Clark just for the fact that Ruddock's, obviously had that injury. But I wouldn't be annoyed at all if he started, especially if you're basing it on the last game. It's very good in that game. So I wouldn't mind if it is Clark or Ruddock alongside Barkley. And then the front three, Townsend, me personally, even if Chio was available, I'd have wanted to see him start in this game anyway. Because one, it's against his former club. And two, it's one of them grounds. It's like when we went to Anfield as well. I wanted to see him play in that game. The type of grounds they are, how difficult they can be. But yeah, former Tottenham player, he's going to be him anyway. You would think, especially with now Chio being out. And then Chong on the left, again, there's not too many options on that left side for me. I mean, you could go Woodrow, but again, I feel he's more of a player to bring on, personally. And then, obviously, up front, Morris. There's literally no other options other than Woodrow as well. You could also put him there, but for me, you're not going to do that. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. So, Kaminsky in goal, back three of Kabore, Mengi, and Burke. It's two CDMs, Barkley and Clark. Doughty on the left, Hashioka on the right, Chong on the left side, Townsend on the right, and Morris up front. So, yeah, that's my lineup going into this game. So, yeah, there we go with that. But, yeah, Dad, your lineup going into this one?
Yeah. It's not
So,
too distant to yours, to be honest. Kaminsky in goal. I'm going to stick with Kabore there as well. Menji obviously in the middle, and outstanding. Then you've got to go with Burke on the right. Kabore, he done all right there in the last game. It's Tottenham and that. I can see him playing on the right and Hashioka playing there. It's a difficult one because we don't know. We haven't seen Hashioka in that position, have we? So we don't know if he's going to get forward. He's just going to be sitting back a little bit more. It's going to be interesting. Doughty standard on the left, but Barkley. I'm going to put Ruddock in the midfield like he was in the last game. I think that, and then putting Clark in that three-pronged attack. I think that was similar to the last game actually. I know what you're saying about Townsend, but I just do think that he's probably going to start the bench again. And we need someone because our bench isn't very strong, it's good to bring on someone of his quality, Chong, I think I was going to start again, and then Morris, yeah. That's the best we can really go with, isn't it?
yeah. Like I say, there's as much as we got the injuries all over the place. There is a few stuff we can toss up between in the sense of positions. Like, do you put Kabore on the right wing back again? Do you put Hashioka left centre back? Them type of things. In the midfield, you do have a bit of an option there. Like I say, Clark or Ruddock.
Also, we've done it before. I mean, you could see Doughty play on the right.
Yeah, exactly.
Kabore on the left.
And
then I guess Hashioka will be in that defence.
If it was like that, yeah, he would have been, yeah.
That I could see that happening because that has happened before when Kabore wasn't and Chio was in different position or he was injured before. I'm sure Doughty was actually on the right, so you could see that. It's there's a few things at home, so that wouldn't surprise me, but that's probably what I'd go with.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Like I say, I wouldn't mind Ruddock at all. Especially on his last game, it was phenomenal. To be honest, for me, probably the best game he's had this season. Up until that moment, for me personally, really good, really composed in that game. So yeah. Chris says Ross Barkley is my midfielder of the season in the Premier League. People say Rice game changer, but Barkley have struggled before. Luton, he spotted it and played more defensively. Exactly. It's like I went on Hano's channel yesterday, as you know, and I was saying, he hasn't even played, as a higher midfielder, an attacking midfielder. That's his actual role, and he's been that phenomenal for us in a defensive role. It just makes me feel, hopefully, we'll be able to actually see him higher up at some point. It depends what happens with us as well for me, regarding, do we start? Because obviously teams probably will come in for him, let's be honest. And obviously Nakamba's out for the season. So it's not like we can even, because like, say, for example, on FIFA, like we all do, I change my formation with Luton and I play, Lukonga and Nakamba and then Ross Barkley as a cam, and then two up front. I'd love to see something like that, but obviously, won't be able to do it this season, but yeah, it's crazy. And Rice, for me, me personally, you'd expect that. The price tag that he was, you'd expect him to come in and do well. So yeah, definitely Barkley for me. 100%. The way he's galvanised the team as well. It's just absolutely phenomenal, really. So yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, he's definitely up there for sure. Darth Vader, good question here. He says, would you guys prefer to compete in every game or pick the games we go all out for? Lost too many players in games who get nothing and weren't likely to get anything from. Well, it's like we say, it's not, we want to compete. We want to compete in these games. We want to show, for me, we need to massively improve our home form. Going into it, like we said, that we thought we'd beat one of the big six, top six, whatever you want to call them, and we didn't. Yeah, we gave them games, but we didn't win. We didn't win, and it's just frustrating. I look at the start of the season, and the problem was scoring goals. The defending was actually pretty good. You know, I can't lie. Considering we didn't have an experienced player, you know, defensive wise, I thought he was really good. But then, obviously, as the season's gone on, obviously you've had to make makeshift, you know, defence at times, and then we struggle to, you know, defend because of them reasons. So for me, we just to go at them. But then there's silly things, you know, like we're conceding early goals, and it don't put us in a good spotlight, you know, especially in the Premier League to try and come back in games. You know, I think especially when you look at games like Bournemouth, you know, people go, "Oh, the players are tired." For me, it's still not acceptable. You can't be 3-0 up and do that. You know, for me, it's not good enough. So for me, I don't think we should have necessarily sat back in that game, but I feel we should have put more bodies in midfield, for example, because obviously it's usually two, isn't it, in midfield. So I feel we should have put more there and just not went for it. You know, not tried to get that fourth goal. We didn't need to do that. So for me, compete in every game, definitely, definitely. Obviously, there is games you do take as a free hit. I'll be honest, I'm taking Man City as a free hit. You got to, you know, treble winners, you know, aiming for the Premier Leagues at the Etihad where they haven't lost in, was it like a year, something like that. You know, there's certain games you have to take as free hits, in my opinion. But you know, Tottenham, as much as they did take a loss, Fulham, I do think they will be angry and I think they could hurt us, but we could hurt them. I feel if Van der Ven's out, especially as long as we give them a game, you know, that's what I care about. And then Arsenal, again, obviously, without trying to get into that too much, it's going to be difficult. Maybe if Man City beat them, the confidence might go down a little bit because this is sort of where it started last season when it comes to title race. But I don't know. We shall see, man. But no Lukonga against Arsenal, even if he was fit, it is a bit, you know, it's a bit worrying, and it makes me, you know, think, can we get anything? It's just one of them. But yeah, Dad, your response to this?
Yeah, compete. You know, which we have been doing. We just need to manage games better. Um, you know, still kind of learning and getting. Can't be making any more stupid mistakes like that, or not managing the game. That's because if you're in the game, then you should be managing it. And generally, we've been not too bad at it, but it's got us. You know, some last minute goals you can't really do anything, but some of them can. Um, they're in any away games. I don't think we can go all out at anyone left now. Um,
No, I think I can
maybe
think of all of them
maybe
now.
maybe I home against Everton, home against Bournemouth.
They're the ones, yeah.
Maybe you could kind of do it, but with the injuries we've got, we can't even be doing that either. Um, but you know, you've got to look at the positive, like the fact that we did lose to Bournemouth, but we went 3-0 up.
That's the thing.
And that weren't going all out. That was just taking our chances, like when we
Yeah.
got it, like perfectly.
And that was the difference in that first half, wasn't it? So they were having chances themselves. We were just putting ours away.
If we didn't have Kaminsky in goal, we'd be worse off for it, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah,
100%.
that's it. Compete. You know, that's it really. Especially what you've got even now to carry on trying to competing with all them injuries is good, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And it shows, for example, what Johnson said, you know, they want to die for that badge, essentially. You know, if we are competing, you know, going to these type of grounds and competing, I'll be happy. You know, I will be happy because at the end of the day, they're all fighting for something, you know, and they are top Premier League teams, let's be honest. You know, so yeah, like I say, there's certain you have to take like a free hit like Man City. You know, we just got to be realistic here. You know, they haven't lost in like it was it a year or something like that. You know, so we shall see. But Chris says Arsenal and City are free hits for me. Spurs kind of free hit, but you can definitely get something. Yeah, Spurs is an interesting one. Like I say, if Van der Ven's out, I think it can be a bit of a closer game, to be honest, because he is massive for them, you know, in that centre back role. Like we say, Romero is very, you know, he just gives away stupid fouls in that, doesn't he? So, yeah, I think we can definitely go at them and score, you know, if that's the case for sure. But yeah, No, I do agree. There is certain games I feel subs have to be done a bit earlier. I'll be honest. It's just one of them, isn't it? Yeah. There's a lot of games I've had this season where we've watched that, and I've been like, me personally, I've wanted to see subs a bit earlier. You know, I think even the Palace game, maybe. Obviously, it worked out in the end. But could be a massive point. But even in that game, I wanted to see a bit subs earlier. But it's one of them. It's one of them. We shall see. But Dad, like I say, we're not feeling confident going into this one. Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff. What's your score prediction against Tottenham away?
I do think we'll score, and I feel it will affect them if they've got them injuries, but they'll still get it over the line. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go 2-1 Tottenham.
Bad. Fair enough. As for my score prediction, do you know what? I've got a feeling there's going to be goals in this one. I look at Tottenham games over the years when they've played, teams that have come up as well and that sort of thing, and they have been quite tight games, especially against Bournemouth over the last couple of years. There've been a couple of 3-2s there, and I do feel like I say, if Van de Ven is out, I feel because for me he's their best centre back. I feel we can capitalise on that and at least get 1 or 2 goals. But I do think Tottenham they'll hurt us up front, and I think that Fulham game, they'll be fuming from that, and they'll come out very strong in this game. I think with our makeshift defence, I think they'll win the game 3-2. So yeah, I think there'll be goals 3-2 to Tottenham in this one. But yeah, do get in your score predictions as well. Chris has said 3-1 to Tottenham, my prediction, but that's a close 3-1. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like one of them where maybe it's 1-1 and then they get like 2 later on goals. Could maybe see something like that, to be honest. And then again, I was thinking that, but it's hard, even though, we've got these injuries, a lot of times we don't look overly great recently, in a few of the games. It's just hard for me personally to not back us to score. So, yeah, I'm going to say we do score. But, yeah, I would have said 2-0 otherwise, I'll be honest. But it's just difficult for me, so we won't score. Jackie says if we get any points at all, it'll be Saturday and the next 2 games, 3 hits. 2-2, Barkley and Morris. Yep, obviously we will do our goal scorers as well. Barkley, yeah, that will be good. A lot of people have said Barkley this week. I've noticed that, a lot of people. So we shall see. Paul, obviously, as we know, is a hatter, and he is not confident at all, Dad. Jeez. Wow. I mean, that game is probably going to happen at some point, if we're being honest. I could see it more so, I'll be honest, against Arsenal or definitely, if not, Man City. It's like you said, Dad, looking at our away games, I think all the remaining ones from the top of my head, Tottenham, Arsenal, City, Wolves and West Ham, they're all difficult, man. They're all difficult. So, yeah, hopefully it's not this weekend. But yeah, we'll see. It's at Tottenham's, mate. It's at Tottenham's. Obviously, played earlier on in the season at Kenilworth Road, and they beat us 1-0. But that's when we struggled to hit the ball in the back of the net. So yeah. Chris says, yeah, 3-1, maybe 1-1 at half time. Then Spurs get 2. Yeah, they do that a lot, don't they? As well, Tottenham, yeah, score them late goals. And I remember there was a stat after Tottenham were up there for scoring, consecutively in games. So that's also why I think it might be a 3-2 as well. So yeah, exactly. And then we got Arsenal. We got Arsenal on Wednesday as well. Our next 3 away games: Tottenham, Arsenal, Man City. So yeah, it's not looking good, Brev, as they would say. But yeah, Dad, your goal scorers in this one, or shall I say your goal scorer?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Chong.
Chong, yeah, that's a good shout. That's an underrated shout for me, to be honest. I could see him stepping up in these games even more. Not that he hasn't, but certain games he's not been too great to what we know he can be in certain games. So yeah, fair enough. Could see that. Me, who am I going to go with? Oh, dear, it's difficult. It's difficult because I want to say Barkley. I want to say that banger. I believe it will happen because he is getting close, but I just don't want to say it's going to happen this week. Morris, I've said him a lot recently. It hasn't quite happened. So, do you know what? I'm going to go Chong as well. I'm going to go Chong. to score one, and then the other one. You know what? I think it's going to be someone unexpected. Mengi. You know, he was robbed off that goal against Forest. Obviously, yes, it's a handball nowadays, but that rule is just pathetic, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm going to say he scores in this one as well. I've got a feeling that he will. So, we shall see. Right after the next two games, just make sure we're 100% ready for Bournemouth. Yeah, Bournemouth, we have to be, we have to be on that. We need to be, I don't really want to be like this, but we have to be seeking revenge. We do, let's be honest, and I feel, yes, it's going to be difficult with the injuries, but I feel we have to sort of, I said it on the Hanno's channel yesterday, we sort of have to approach that like we did Brighton. I get it's difficult to capitalise on that and repeat that, but what I mean is go at them and get them early goals because we've done it at their ground. We've done it at their ground. If we get one or two early goals, then approach it in a way where we don't need to keep, we don't need to continue to get more goals, sort of thing. That's how I see we should do that game. Obviously, like I say, it's going to be difficult because that game we had Elijah against Brighton. We even had Chio, who was doing well at them times there. So maybe it might by then. Maybe might have one of them back at least, hopefully, if not both, of course. But that's how I think we should approach that game, and we need to be trying to win it. We need to be showing what Kenilworth Road is about in these home games because they're all teams around us, except Fulham, but that's the last game of the season. And I think, me personally, I think they'll be mid-table on the beach, nothing to play for. And it could be like when we played Reading, but obviously to stay up. And I hope it comes down to the end. I really do. Because I don't want it to come to a few weeks off and we sort of, but we shall see what goes on with that. Big up to Billy, says I'm off. Have a great rest of your evening, lads, and have a good weekend. Yep, same goes to you, mate. Same goes to you. Chris's goal scorers gone Son, Richarlison, Kulusevski, Woodrow. His goal scorers. Do you know what I'll do? Tottenham's. I'll go with Son. I don't want to say it, but Richarlison, and I'll go Maddison. But yeah, Kulusevski is a player I've rated very highly as well. I mean, you never know. You never flipping know. You never know. But I mean, if he continues playing how he is, he might even, he might, you never know, to be fair. But if he is in that left centre back role, like I said, then probably not. I watched Mengi at Bolton Stadium for the England under-21 game. He looked like he's fit and ready. Yeah, like I say, come on for half an hour, didn't he, in that game? It's good to see that he didn't get injured or anything. And yeah, he's looking really good, man. I can't lie. He is looking really good. So yeah, even considering getting an England shirt with him on the back, you know what I mean? That's it'd be sick. Yeah, no, exactly, and that's what I mean. We need to show that. We haven't shown that to our full potential, in my opinion. Yeah, we've had a few good results, like drawing at home to Liverpool, and we've had them narrow defeats to Arsenal and City. But there's certain games like the Burnley game, for example, at home. That's just not good enough. Certain games like that where we concede in early goals as well, and it's costing us. So we need to show what Kenilworth Road's about. In these games coming up for me. The remaining home ones anyway, of course. Because like I say, there are teams around us, all of them, except, obviously Fulham. And Bournemouth, they probably will stay up, but if they had a few bad results, you never know. So, yeah, so we shall see what goes on. But, Dad, any final things you'd like to say about anything?
Nah, just roll with the punches, isn't it? You never know. You never know. There is surprises in the Premier League, but we just got to enjoy it. Like this fucking weather gets better, know.
Oh no, I think it's raining right now by the sounds of it. Yeah, it is. It is. In fact, it is. Just typical in it. Yeah, UK weather's been absolutely shocking. What a surprise. Mengi looked like he had more of a presence in Kwanzaa. Really, yeah, I'm a bit surprised about that. But yeah, no. For me, though, he should be starting over, who was it, Harwood Bellis? The one at Southampton, Mengi. Well, I don't know how he's not starting over him, but there we go. Burnley and Sheffield United at home, lost them game. Yeah, exactly. Sheffield United as well. That's another one, isn't it? Like, it's just not good, is it? It's not good. So we need to show in these last games what it's all about at home. So yeah, no, absolutely, mate. But yeah, big up. Vlog from home. Probably be doing it, me and you, Dad. We'll be back again with another one. Obviously on Saturday, of course. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. Potentially not 100%, but I might. It'll probably come out. I don't know. It depends if they're going to do it. But I've asked some people if they can reach out to this Tottenham fan to do a little pre-recorded preview, but it's not 100%. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That will either be out tonight or tomorrow. But if not, like I say, vlog from home on Saturday, and then obviously we play on Wednesday next week. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, if everything comes out on Monday, regarding team news and that, then might just do it all in one on Monday. Reaction to this and preview to that, we shall see. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what goes on regarding that. But yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Make sure you do smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. Obviously, do subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. 2 new subscribers yesterday. I think that was from Hanno stream as well. So big up to everyone that did subscribe from that, and big up to everyone else that already has, of course. Do subscribe to the extra channel as well. T-Boys TV Extra, obviously, link to that is in the description. And I did post a couple of shorts over the last couple of days. It's annoying because no one ever gets a notification for YouTube Shorts unless it's about 3 days later, which is very annoying. So yeah, I've done a little rant about Southgate, and what was the other thing I did? Nottingham Forest obviously appealed their points, so I've done a little discussion about that. So make sure you check them out. Obviously, they're on the main channel. And yeah, I'll say follow me across all my socials as well. Links to them are all in the description. And yeah, until Saturday, we will see you lot in a bit. So take care and peace.